Hi everyone, this is Donnie Lowy from Closeoutexplosion.com. I'd like to give you some tips today on how to find wholesale brand name merchandise in Brooklyn. As you may well know, the wholesale fashion district in the city attracts a lot of customers and there are a lot of wholesale suppliers there, but you can get some really phenomenal deals in Brooklyn. The reason is warehouses such as like my Closeout warehouse, which is located in Greenpoint, and other warehouses that are located throughout Brooklyn. So we pay a much lower rent per square foot than a wholesaler would in the city. We generally have more space. Having more space allows us to stock more merchandise, and it also allows us to take a chance and to buy merchandise that we don't need to sell right away or we don't expect to sell right away, and that enables us to give our customers more variety. So if you want to find some really good deals in Brooklyn, there are a few ways to do that. Number one is you could always go on Google and you could search for wholesalers in Brooklyn. You'll get a listing of different wholesalers. You can also go to websites that cater specifically towards the wholesale business. You have magazines that are published online, such as Independent Retailer. You have Forum publishes also a wholesale publication for retailers. You could go to their websites and look at their directories of wholesalers and look for wholesalers that are in Brooklyn. You can also find many wholesalers through wholesalecentral.com, through closeoutcentral.com. You could purchase paid directories that will give you listings of suppliers, including suppliers in Brooklyn. But if you want to find specifically suppliers that are in Brooklyn, then I would recommend that you start out by finding one or two suppliers, then contact them, go to their warehouses. Generally, you're going to find other wholesale warehouses in the same neighborhood as the warehouse that you're visiting is in. And even if there aren't, the wholesaler should be able to refer you and to send you the other wholesalers that carry complementary merchandise or carry merchandise that the wholesaler doesn't specialize in. Now, an advantage of going to wholesale warehouses in Brooklyn is that many warehouses such as myself, we specialize in buying the inventory of stores that go out of business. The reason we can do that easily and compared to a store that, a wholesale business in the city, is that we have more storage space, so we have more room to take a chance and buy at the inventory of an entire store. When we do that, we're able to then pass on those savings to retail customers. So for example, let's say there was a store in Queens that went out of business, and I bought them out, and I bought 2,000 pieces of clothing. Now I have the space where to store that clothing, and because my rent is much lower than the comparable rent that a wholesaler would pay in the city, I'm able to minimize my expenses and sell the clothing that I bought out at a lower price than a wholesaler would in the city. But remember, the bottom line is that a wholesaler in the city might not buy those dresses in the first place. They might not buy out the inventory of that store in the first place because they don't have where to store the inventory. They need to be able to buy merchandise which they could turn over very quickly because their space is limited. So that's definitely an advantage of why you should look for a wholesaler who is in Brooklyn. And you're welcome to visit my warehouse. My website is closeoutexplosion.com. Have a great day.